All right, welcome everyone to our FY27 Call for Proposal webinar. We're very excited for you all to be joining us today. Before we get started with the presentation, we are going to start a quick round of introductions of our staff and research board members who are here with us today. So my name is Renee Renauer-Bova. I am the Fishery Research Program Associate here at the Great Lakes Fishery Commission. And I'll pass it off to Jake.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm Jake Kimmel. I'm the Sea Lamprey Research Program Associate at the Great Lakes Fishery Commission.
Andrew.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. Andrew Muir, Science Director.
Carrie.
Morning, everyone. Carrie Baker, Great Lakes Fishery Commission.
Margaret.
Yeah, I'm Margaret Docker. I'm a professor at the University of Manitoba, and I'm on the Sea Lamprey Research Board. I'm the theme lead for the genetic control theme.
Nick.
Hello, Nick here. I work with the USGS Hammond Bay Biological Station. I'm the director, focusing on lamprey control.
Thank you. Chuck.
Chuck Bronte. I'm finishing up a 35-year career with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and USGS, and I've been on the Board of Technical Experts and for quite a while, and co-lead the deep water fish theme area with Andrew.
Thank you. Nadia.
Hi, my name's Nadia Carmasini. I am with the USGS at the Upper Midwest Environmental Sciences Center. I'm a research biologist by title, but I'm actually a chemist by trade and experience. But yes, I dabble in also biology and toxicology. And I've been on the Sea Lamprey Research Board for just a little bit less than a year.
Kelly.
Hi, Kelly Robinson. I'm with the USGS Georgia Cooperative Fish and Wildlife Research Unit, and I'm the chair of the Sea Lamprey Research Board.
Martin.
Hello, Martin Coops. I'm a research scientist with Fisheries and Oceans Canada, and I am the lead for the physical processes and fish recruitment theme, sorry. And I've been on the board of technical experts for a while, but not as long as Chuck.
Thank you. Julie.
Hi, everyone. Julie Hinder. I'm the Science Programs Manager at the Great Lakes Fishery Commission, and I also coordinate the Science Transfer Program.
Thank you. Janessa.
Hey everyone, I'm Janessa. I work with the Great Lakes Fishery Commission as a postdoctoral fellow, and I also am serving on the boat. I'm fairly new to the board, starting at the beginning of this year.
Thank you. Sylvia, thanks for joining us. I know you just popped on, but if you don't mind giving a quick introduction.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Sylvia. I'm a postdoc at University of Windsor and Michigan State University. I joined just this year, actually my first year at the Board of Technical Experts. Glad to be here.
Thank you. You too. Barb, please. You're muted. Asking you to unmute. We can move on to Cheryl if you're having technical
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Barb Zielinski. I retired from the University of Windsor. Worked there for many years as a prof at an Department of Biological Sciences, which is now integrated biology.
Thank you. And Cheryl, I see you popping on if you don't mind.
Hi, yeah, I'm Cheryl Murphy. I'm a professor at Michigan State University. I'm an ecotoxicologist. I'm a director for the Center for PFAS Research.
All right, thank you. Excellent, everyone. If there's any board members who don't have their camera on that I forgot, please pop on to say hello. If not, I'm going to start sharing my screen to get us started. And just as a reminder to everyone, we are recording this so that we can put this on our YouTube channel. So by staying on, you are consenting to being recorded. Okay, let's see. All right, everyone see my screen all right?
Looks good, Renee.
Thank you. Okay, when we get started. go. All right, so to start off, we have two main parallel research programs here at the Great Lakes Fishery Commission, one of which is focused on fishery, including broad ecosystem research, and the other sea lamprey. These are management-focused research programs tied into addressing the management needs using applied research. And the two overseeing boards that look and give these research priorities are the Council of Lake Committees for Fishery and the Sea Lamprey Task Forces for Sea Lamprey. For the Fishery Research Program, the Board of Technical Experts are the ones who are looking over those proposals submitted, and the Board of Technical Experts encourages cross-cutting projects that contain relevancy to two or more themes listed here and use an integration of mixed methods. Investigators are encouraged to review the theme papers under the theme which they are interested in applying under. So please visit the theme pages to access these documents. We're going to be posting a bunch of links in the chat for you all to access today. And investigators should also use the Council of Lake Committee's research priorities to address pressing needs within the basin. And these were recently updated this fall, and I encourage you to check them out on the webpage. For the Sea Lamprey Research Program, those research theme areas describe important topics related to the control of sea lampreys in the Great Lakes and are led by the Sea Lamprey Research Board. The Sea Lamprey Research Board encourages cross-cutting proposals that integrate two or more research concepts as described in synthesis papers that are linked on our website. Some examples of cross-cutting concepts are provided in the program's conceptual diagram. Investigators are encouraged to use these examples as inspiration to develop research project ideas, but proposals must be submitted under one of the research theme areas listed below. Investigators should also use the Sea Lamprey Research Control Board priorities to develop research ideas. These research priorities are identified by the Control Board as critical research needs to understand and improve the control of sea lamprey. Investigators should determine and communicate how their proposed project will address these research priorities. For projects that do not fall under a current theme area, they may be supported under our non-theme research option, but should still be relevant to our mission, strategic vision, or sustaining healthy Great Lakes fisheries. To go over our funding rates. The commission programs are highly competitive. This slide shows mean funding rates over the past 5 years. We typically receive a high number of pre-proposals, shown by the numbers in the bubbles, that get winnowed down through the review process to a subset of full proposals requested, and of those, slightly more than half are recommended to the commission for funding. Overall, only 24% of fishery pre-proposals are ultimately funded, and 34% of sea lamprey pre-proposals are funded. The programs are highly competitive, which sometimes gets misinterpreted, and I want to dispel the myth today that you have to be in the club to acquire commission funding. A high priority for the commission has always been to bring in new investigators into the programs, and we have been successful at doing so. Over the past 5 years, we have had an average of 1 to 2 new investigators funded in each of the programs. So roughly 20% of the proposals funded each year are led by new investigators. We provide constructive feedback to all applicants for use in resubmissions, and we've recently implemented a feedback survey so we can better support our applicants. This web launch of the call for proposals is intended to bring new investigators into our program, increase our transparency, and guide more targeted research proposals. During the history of the program, 120 different institutions have been contracted, so our funding programs cast a broad net and are available to everyone. Now I'm going to go into the special topics that are highlighted for this upcoming call in the Fishery Research Program. The Indigenous Great Lakes Network Initiative serves Indigenous communities, nations, and organizations around the Great Lakes by supporting their environmental research and monitoring priorities and needs, and they've identified the following areas of research need: ecosystem conservation and protection, data and technology, contaminants, environmental restoration and reclamation, ecosystem monitoring and protection, fish research and management, and effects of mining. And we're going to post their website down in the chat. The Commission is also making funds available for research to strengthen ecological risk assessments of microplastics pollution, with a focus on effects to fish and fisheries based on recommendations from the report published by the International Joint Commission. Proposed studies should follow standard operating procedures. And we invite ideas that look at microplastics exposure and direct effects of microplastics on fish health, answering questions like, what does the water and sediment microplastic exposure landscape look like? And how does exposure vary across space, time, and life stage? How does microplastic exposure affect fish health, disease susceptibility, or other non-lethal effects? As well as looking at method development and analytical approaches. Can rapid testing methods and high throughput methods for microplastics detection and quantification in fish be developed? I want to reiterate the topic that this focuses on the effects of contaminants on fish health, not human health. The Great Lakes Fish Health Committee has also updated its priorities this fall. So if you'd like more information, please check out the link posted in the chat. And as I noted earlier, the Council of Lake Committees has updated its basin-wide priorities to include recruitment, food web dynamics, and habitat restoration. Please visit the Council of Lakes Committee theme page for more information. And additionally, the CLC wanted to highlight a special topic for research. They want to prioritize research related to lake whitefish and the link to dry-scented mussel control. And I'm going to pass it off to Jake now to describe the Sea Lamprey Research Program special topics.
Great, thank you, Renee. We also have 3 special topics for the Sea Lamprey Research Program. The Sea Lamprey Control Board is concerned about the potential effects of climate variability on lampricide treatments and barrier efficacy. So this includes treatment effectiveness under varying temperatures, alkalinity, pH, and flow, how this affects timing of treatments, and then understanding changes in physical river conditions and barrier stability associated with frequent extreme weather events. Another special topic is related to the effects of lampricide on non-target organisms. This is another area that the Sea Lamprey Control Program is keenly interested in. Organisms of concern include mud puppies, native lampreys, and native mussels, and any other state, provincial, or federally listed aquatic species. Additional research in this area would help further understanding of how non-target species respond and recover from lampricide treatments, and would inform treatment protocols and minimize negative effects in the future. And then the third special topic is related to our granular balicide treatments. Granular balicide is used for sea lamprey assessment and treatment as a cost-effective alternative to TFM. And currently, the program uses a mean effectiveness of 75% during these treatments, but there's critical need to better understand and quantify granular balicide effectiveness as a lampricide and understand how it's influenced by abiotic and biotic variables. Specifically, we're interested in research focused on pH, alkalinity, and temperature, and how these affect granular balicide effectiveness. And additional research on the effects of sediment, water, velocity, turbulence, depth, and vegetation are also needed in this area. Okay, next I'm going to cover our funding cycle and how you actually can apply to our programs. So our funding is allocated on a 1-year cycle beginning in November with the release of our call for proposals, where we are now. And this is soliciting projects to begin in January of 2027. Pre-proposals are due on January 15th of 2026. And then our research boards will convene in March to review the pre-proposals. Successful pre-proposals will be invited to submit full proposals, which will be due on June 1st. And then these full proposals are subject to external review, which will be coordinated by our board members with relevant expertise. So our board members will also review all of these proposals, and they'll use the peer reviews to discuss and evaluate the full proposals at their fall meeting in September. And then out of those fall meetings, a recommendation will come to the commissioners, which will be for our funding programs, and the commissioners will make their decisions at the December interim meeting. And upon commissioner approval of which projects to fund, projects will begin January 1st of that following year. So as I mentioned, in this case, that would be 2027. And now I'm going to provide a short walkthrough of our website. So we're going to post the link in chat if you want to follow along. Our website is glfc.org, and I just want to do a quick run through of how you can actually apply. So let me get my screen shared here. All right, can you see that? All right, great. So I'm starting on our website, glfc.org. I just want to orient you to our science and research tab at the top here. Here's where you can find some more information on each of our programs. So you can go to fishery research or sea lamprey research to read more about our themes or the priorities that we have for those programs. But for today, we're going to go to our funding for research page. And here we can access our full call for proposals. So on this page here, you can find all the information that we're discussing during today's webinar in more detail. So we encourage you to look into this after our webinar today. To actually apply though, you'll need to access our pre-proposal templates. The templates page can be found on the left side of the screen here in this drop-down menu. So we'll click on Forms and Templates. And here you can find templates for any of our funding options. So here would be the pre-proposal template. Within this template, you can find the directions on how to apply, how to write the proposal, how they're evaluated, and how to access our submission page. These proposals are submitted through an online portal. So you can find that link here on this page, or you can access that in the pre-proposal template itself. That's where you'll actually be submitting the documents for your proposal package. So I'll click on this portal here just to show you what that looks like. So if you've applied before, you can just enter using your existing account. If this is your first time applying, you'll need to create an account here. And this portal will walk you through all the steps needed to submit the proposal. And I will pass back to Renee to continue with the rest of our presentation.
Thank you, Jake. Okay, seeing my screen again, all right?
Looks good.
Thank you. All right. So we are going into pre-proposal evaluation. Pre-proposals are evaluated against several areas. Pre-proposals are primarily evaluated for relevance and feasibility. And this includes relevance to our research themes, needs, special calls, and overall mission. And evaluation of feasibility is high level, such as can the team get the fish to do the proposed research? The boards do not get into the weeds of the methods until the full proposal stage because we understand the space limitations in our pre-proposal template. The board also looks at the demonstration of novelty of the proposed work. Is this building on past work? As well as the demonstration of research excellence, including ethics and collaboration. Sorry, I lost my space on my notes. Of collaboration. So we're looking at the demonstration of core competencies and how are you, like, what does your team look like? Again, less so for the pre-proposal of the methods, but does this foster throughput of deliverables? Okay. Other considerations related to feasibility and research excellence. Investigators should be focused on the relationship building now before pre-proposals are submitted, especially those who wish to partner with Indigenous communities. This can be demonstrated in the list of investigators or in the methods. At the full proposal stage, you will need to have the relationship established with letters of support are required. And we recognize that Indigenous-led work can come in many forms. The leading Indigenous researcher does not need to be listed as first, as long as it is evident in the methods who is leading the project. So please be explicit about who is doing the work. Additionally, Indigenous-led research does not need the funding to be directed to that First Nation or tribe, as we are aware of staffing capacities related to administration of funds. So to the extent possible, new investigators are provided opportunities to engage with the research board to develop submissions and relationship building. Please review the new and early career investigator criteria to determine if you are eligible using the QR code here or the link pasted in chat. New and early career investigators are evaluated against the same criteria and compete for the same funding. Recruiting new and early career investigators into the programs remains a high priority for the Commission. New and early career investigators are strongly encouraged to reach out to the science director in advance of the pre-proposal submission, and we are linking an email address in the chat that you can reach out to for more information. Now I'll pass it off to Jake to talk about our other funding options. Jake, you're muted.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. Thanks. Thanks, Renee. Yeah, so next I'm going to cover a few additional funding options that we do have. So first are pilot projects. Pilot research projects are designed to explore new hypotheses and concepts and to acquire preliminary data to guide development of a full research project. These pilot projects must be less than or equal to $20,000 US in their budgets and are up to 1 year in length. And then the submission dates for these projects are different. So we have two submission dates. One is January 15th, and those projects would be considered at our March board meetings. And then July 15th for consideration at the September board meetings. But unlike full proposals, pilot funding is rapidly available, so projects can start within the same year that they were submitted. They'll still have to, investigators will still have to respond to board comments on their proposals. And once those responses are approved, the funding is immediately available and doesn't need to wait for the commissioner approval at their interim meeting in December. And just FYI, for anyone who's submitted pilots in the past, we have moved to an online submission process for these pilots. So just make sure you're reviewing the instructions in the pilot proposal templates, which will be pasted in the chat. Another funding option are our technical assistance projects, and we have these for Sea Lamprey Research Program and the Fishery Research Program. For the Sea Lamprey Research Program, technical assistance projects are designed to rapidly respond to Sea Lamprey control program needs for technical information to be used in immediate implementation for the control program. For the Fishery Research Program, technical assistance projects allow for the generation of new technical knowledge critical to address an immediate science or fishery management need or the transfer of applied technical knowledge. So examples of these could be workshops and skills training, but they come in many forms, and often these projects are led by agency members. For more information, you can review the templates for the two different TAP funding options. And similar to pilot projects, these are typically less than or equal to 20,000 US dollars and up to 1 year in length, but we do have a little bit more flexibility in these projects, so they can exceed those funds and those timelines. But we expect justification of that in the budget and the proposal. And the submission dates for these projects are January 15th and July 15th as well. All right, and now I'm going to highlight a few additional resources we have to aid in your proposal development. The first is our project catalog, where you can find abstracts from past completed GLFC projects. That link is posted in the chat. We also have recordings of our past webinars on YouTube. You can access that with the QR code on screen or with the link in the chat. For example, last year's webinar, we went into more detail on how to craft a successful proposal. So we recommend you review that one in particular for more guidance on how to craft your proposal. And as always, feel free to reach out to the science director. His email is on screen there is in the chat. And we also have emails for the Fishery Research Program and Sea Lamprey Research Program, which will be posted in the chat as well. And lastly, so we are opening up additional more one-on-one Q&A sessions for investigators to talk with the science director and research board members. Sign up for this has been online, but we still have a few additional slots for today and our December 4th date. So it's a little last minute, but if you are interested in chatting a little bit more, we will have time for questions after the end of the webinar or our presentation today. But if you want more of a one-on-one opportunity, we encourage you to sign up, and the QR code is here on screen and a link is in the chat. So for later today, between 1:40 and 2 and 2:20, we have openings, and we have 6 available openings on the December 4th date. So we encourage you to look into those as well. And yeah, lastly, we still have a good amount of time left in our webinar, so we're going to move into a question and answer portion. Feel free to post your questions in the chat, use the raise hand function or turn on your camera. And you can ask these questions to staff or science director Andrew or any of the board members. We've got plenty of time to help with any questions you may have.
Yes, thank you, Jake. And I'm going to leave up this QR code for a few minutes so that you can access it. Jake, if you wouldn't mind posting like the links for that as well, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, thanks, Renee and Jake, for that brief presentation. Again, if you are interested in more detail, we do have the previous webinars available online. I think the staff put the links for those available in the chat, and they do go into quite a bit of detail about crafting pre-proposals and some guidance there. Board members, before we get into questions, do you have anything you wanted to add to the information that Jake and Renee shared? Okay, we can open it up to questions. There was one question in the chat about when the awards actually become available, and the new funding for this cycle will be available January 1st, 2027. So our commissioners approved the program of research that we recommend at their interim meeting, which happens at the beginning of December, and then funds are available in January of the following year.
This Otter AI in.
Yeah, Mark was telling me about what that is the other day. It's a AI thing that can transcribe your entire minute meeting discussion.
Yeah, we use
I think we
Firefly.
have someone who's unmuted there having a conversation.
Possibly someone who registered for the meeting has a setting that the otter would automatically join.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would not let it.
Okay, Dave, I saw you had your hand raised.
Yeah, Andrew. I saw online where I think it said that the um, typical award for the research program is between like 30,000 and 130,000, some price range like that. Um, we have a project in mind that we believe would be an appropriate graduate
All right,
student
we'll
project.
wait till 1:02 and then we'll get started. How's that sound? Okay.
Good.
Am I still?
See, there's still a few folks. Yeah, we can hear you. I don't know where this sound is coming from. Everyone's on mute.
Okay.
The
Well, I was
YouTube video might be playing on somebody's computer is what is my guess.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so I was trying to ask about the size of awards that are typical and what's realistic, especially if we have a graduate student involved, we have a project that's pushing up.
Well, we're 2 minutes after 1, so we'll get started. Good afternoon, everyone. All right.
Was that coming through? It might have been Dave. The YouTube video might have been playing through your audio.
Oh yeah, could be.
Very
Okay.
disorienting.
The question is the typical awards. Yeah, we put a dollar value in there just to reflect what is sort of standard. There really is no limitation. You can put forward a project with a budget that's appropriate to do the work, and the board will consider that. The awards, we don't have an unlimited budget, and so if you put forward a $2 million project, it's unlikely unless it's extreme priority that would move forward, just because we don't have the funds to fund too many projects. But I would say, Dave, I would develop the budget that is required to achieve the objectives that are proposed, and then the board can kind of sort through whether that's something they feel is worthy of the investment. So we just put those numbers as guidance in terms of what's typical. Board members, do you want to anyone want to weigh in on that response
Yeah,
there?
I just want to let Dave know it's not unusual to fund graduate students with this funding source, so that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, students are actually encouraged because training is an important element of what we do. So that's typically viewed favorably. All right, other questions?
I had a question in the chat that was sent privately that I thought I would share since others might have the same question. It was, can award funds be used to cover personnel time for federal agency staff partners? I say, yes, we are allowed funds to go to salary. We just ask for budget justification during the full proposal stage.
Yeah, the only caveat to that is that for folks that are paid through commission funds to agencies, we tend to not like folks requesting salary in the proposals because we're already paying for those. So there are a number of positions at agencies that the commission supports, perm scientists, for example, or other collaborators. So there is the only exception, I would say, Renee, where we would discourage that. All right, well, I'll raise one question because it frequently comes up, and maybe that'll stimulate folks to ask others. We often get questions around pre-proposal success and uh, questions around uh, how often or how many times it takes to get proposal funded and the competitiveness. And the one thing I will say is that it, Renee and Jake mentioned it, but it is quite a competitive program, and the board really does try to work with PIs to help them develop their ideas and help them be successful. So I think if you're either putting in a pre-proposal for the first time or you're questioning whether you should revise a proposal and submit it, we do encourage you to reach out and we can put you in touch with theme leads. We can talk with you about the process and hopefully help give you some guidance on how to make a successful proposal. So please do reach out and work with us. It is competitive and it often takes a couple of times to access the funding. So I just don't want people to be discouraged. We're definitely willing to continue to work with folks on developing their ideas.
And just for folks that aren't familiar with, how competitive it is, I think Andrew, I know we keep track of all this stuff, but we could get up to 80 pre-proposals that we have to consider for the spring, and that's quite a few. So, and usually there's a culling process where a subset of the board calls things that we know are not gonna fly, so to speak. So just wanted to let everybody know that.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing a ton of additional questions. Maybe do other board members want to add any sort of thoughts in terms of the process or experiences with submitting proposals that they think would be helpful to the group?
I guess the one thing that I would say is try to, when you're thinking about your proposal, sometimes we find ones that we get pre-proposals that aren't really directly the connection isn't made to the themes for the different programs. And so the more you can kind of link what you're trying to do to the themes of the different boards, it's very helpful. And I'd also say in terms of the budget stuff, the more you can be pretty clear even in the pre-proposal stage about what kinds of funds you're requesting and why it's helpful for us to kind of see how things are going to come together in a full proposal.
Great. Thank you, Kelly. Cheryl, and then Nick.
Yeah, I would also suggest, like, if you're going to do something that requires like actual sea lamprey or field work or anything like that to actually get in touch with the people that the 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 sea lamprey researchers like that go out in the field and things like that to actually if you haven't done anything like this before to actually see how feasible things are and look for partners there potentially to make it a more successful experience.
Yeah, great point. Thank you. Nick.
Yeah, that was exactly my point. Especially in the context of sea lamprey control program, there are quite a few nuances with that particular species and how control is done. So if you're new to the program, call Andrew and he can give you an idea of who best to talk to in the control program from the Fish and Wildlife Service or Fisheries and Oceans in Canada. That can really help a proposal save you a year in the pre-proposal stage and kind of, yeah, really help develop the question better.
Yeah, excellent point. Thank you. Chuck.
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate what you said. I mean, I don't get a lot of calls from folks that are submitting stuff to the native deep water theme. I know Andrew, you get a lot, but and I'm just wondering uh, what other theme leaders, whether they get calls from folks that are interested in submitting. I can't stress how important that is because there's lots of things that are going on that we may be aware of, and we may be able to give you an idea on how to make your proposal more successful. It's all about marketing and selling to the committee, and I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, that's a good point. We do occasionally get theme leads who are contacted, but it's typically through our office and we'll put folks in touch. Chuck, I tend to handle the fishery native fish ones if I can and some of the other themes, but there are themes that are well beyond where I can provide appropriate guidance. So I have connected folks, for example, with the genetics theme leads or with the physical processes theme leads through time. So certainly if you think it would be beneficial to connect with theme leaders, just reach out to us through those emails provided and we can help facilitate that. That's a good point. Margaret.
Yeah, so I'll repeat what has already been said by the previous four or five, like really encouraging people, especially new investigators, to reach out to Andrew if you have questions to get that context, that background that we really do want, new investigators to apply, that a lot of you have skills that would really contribute to both the sea lamprey and the fisheries research programs that for you to succeed, you typically need to sort of tap into a lot of the existing expertise and context. So don't hesitate. That is, I think Nick had said that it would, maybe shave one round of, revise and resubmit off of the process. And then I know that if you're used to applying to other types of grants where it's, a competition and that you're on your own and that you feel that asking questions, gives you an unfair advantage, that this is a different scenario where everybody wants the best research done. And, and this is why, you go through Andrew, that if something, Andrew would be the judge as to whether or not something might be, more than what would typically be provided to new investigators, but definitely ask and get get those resources and that context so that the expertise that you have and the new ideas you have can be put to their best use for the good of the program.
Thank you, Margaret. Carrie, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that if you do receive feedback that says like, please revise and resubmit, we absolutely mean it. And that we really do want to see your research come in front of the board again. It's not just lip service or whatnot. That's research we're excited about, and we would really like to see move forward. So yeah, definitely contact the investigator or the research or the science director or the research board members in that scenario. And yeah, that's all.
Great, thank you. Okay, not seeing a lot more questions. Maybe I'll ask one. Can folks raise their virtual hand if they're new investigators and considering submitting a pre-proposal? Okay, about looks like 4, 5, 6. Oh boy, it's changing. Okay, we got a bunch. Okay, great. Well, that's really great. Okay, excellent. Well, definitely for those folks who are new and considering it, please definitely reach out. And maybe some of you already have some time booked, but that's your opportunity to sort of get as much input as you can from the board members who collectively have a ton of experience here, and then staff as well. All right, well, any final questions then? Are we good to wrap up, Renee and Jake, if we don't have additional questions?
I think we're good to wrap up. If you have signed up for our Q&A after this, you'll have a separate link in your email to sign on for that. And same with board members. Please see Jake's email regarding the different links if you're joining on those question and answer sessions. And thank you all for coming out today.